Hello and welcome. I don't know whether you saw us at the beginning there. I might have clicked the button too late, but that's what you get with this pod. You just get what you see. How it's recorded is how you see it. But welcome to episode 38 of FPL Journey to 10K, the podcasting series in which we speak to one of the greatest players to ever play the game. You know this by now, but he's finished in the top 10K 6 times in the 8 seasons he's played. He is in Fantasy Football Fixtures Elite 11 managers and is a former world number one. It is, of course, Matt Corbridge. Matt, how are we feeling? It's double game week. Are we excited?
I'm good. I'm excited for your beard, though. It's looking good. Are you growing that out?
No, just laziness.
Yeah.
It'll be gone tomorrow. Shave back.
Yeah, I know you. You're a bit more active on X now than me, and you. So I don't do a poll. Keep it or shave it. It's looking good.
I'll put it on. If you put it in the comments, if you think Dave should keep his beard, then I will listen to said comments.
Yeah, sorry about that.
I can see how Tash is all right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're blessed with good facial hair. I'm not so much, but yeah, it's looking good actually for you.
I'm part Italian, pal. That's what it is.
That's nice. It's coming through good. No, it's looking good. It's looking good. It was nice to see you last week as well. Short and sweet. I don't think we interact too much, but it was nice to bump into you.
No, bit of a chat, and then back from our secret meeting in London. Yeah. But nobody's allowed to know what it was.
Oh, sounds like we're cooking something. Is it fantasy related?
It's not fantasy. You were a bit more dressed up than me. I think I was in a loose shirt, and you were suited and booted.
Right. These occasions, like they're only fleeting. They don't come up often. You and I seeing each other, so I'd make the most of it. But it was nice to see you. And FPL wise, I think I had a bit of a cock up actually. So I think I've missed deadlines before and whatnot, but I don't think I've ever burned a transfer accidentally when I didn't want to. So yeah, I kind of had 2-3 transfers going into the game week, and I just missed the deadline. And it was like on Friday I was walking back from where I was kind of walking, and an old friend was cycling the other direction. I was like, "Oh, right, pal, we've been up to a long time no see or something." He's like, "Going up here, but like, yeah, what are you doing later?" I was like, "Oh, not a lot actually. Oh, do you want to hang out?" So yeah, then it became midnight. Then it was like 2 a.m. Then it was 5 a.m. So yeah, I was absolutely gone. So yeah, it was good fun though. But I guess if I was doing well in fantasy, I would have at least put an alarm on just to kind of like wake. Well, I think the frustrating thing was I think I was up at 9 and then I was back to sleep, back up at 10, and just like wasn't functioning properly to make a decision. But yeah, first time I probably burned a transfer accidentally, but I think it worked out for me, because the moves I would have made, I probably would have, hand on heart, I'd probably be down 1 point, right? So I think most of my moves would have involved Ollie Watkins out because he was my cash cow. He didn't get a hold. He was excellent against Arsenal. Hit the post as well, but 7 points. I'll take that. So I think I'd tease with the fact that Cunha was an option, obviously with his 2 goals, and maybe he would have been an option, but probably Mateta was the leading candidate. To be honest, I would have just benched him. Although actually saying that, if I did that, Eze would have started. So like swings and roundabouts there, but like I kept Watkins, so it's not too bad. But that was a bit different for me. But looking okay for not doing anything. I'm looking okay. So yeah, the transfer I was probably going to do is I didn't want to do 2. I wanted another week of information on like what's the correct Liverpool assets. So I probably wouldn't have moved Watkins to Darwin. I probably would have done a Cunha or a Mateta. And yeah, Kelleher, I couldn't move him to a Pickford or someone. And I thought he was going to start really. So a bit frustrating, but I think I didn't lose too many points actually, given Watkins scored, so I can live with it. But should we start with your team? I mean, I'm talking about mine a little bit, but like, talk
about either or. Can I ask? I would like you missed the deadline. Did you at least set a bus team? Was this your bus?
Yeah. Because Haaland's captain. Yeah, it would have been Salah last week. So yeah, would have set it up.
Yeah. So at least if you did miss, well, you'd missed the deadline, but at least it was the team was set up how you kind of wanted it pre-transfers. But yeah, I don't know. You can carry on.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay. Yeah.
Crack on. You've had a
You've
better
had
game week than me.
Have you had a bad game week or something? Okay, I'll
I
go
have.
for mine. So with one game playing, so Everton, kind of Chelsea, which I think most people isn't going to be the biggest influence, right? Palmer's ownership, it was going to be what, 95% effective ownership or something like that.
Be up there.
A few people have Gusto, a few people will have an Everton defender, but I don't think it's going to be a game changer. So yeah, because I don't have an extra player, I've just got Palmer active. My game week rank is probably going to be about 900k, a million. That's okay. So yeah, kind of 57 points with Palmer yet to kind of play. So yeah, kind of not bad considering I don't have an active keeper. So Kelleher has been dropped for Alisson. I was expecting Bradley to be potentially dropped, but not Kelleher, given Alisson wasn't in the squad for the European kind of match, and yeah, there wasn't really any pictures of Alisson training. I appreciate keepers are different, but yeah, that surprised me. So if I knew that was happening, yeah, of course I would have like tried to do a move to bring in a keeper, but like yeah, no active keeper. The defense really bad actually, so it's kind of quite rare to see, with double Arsenal defense not doing very well. But like obviously, Gabriel, he was bad, but yeah, 0 points, 2 goals conceded, and yellow card. Saliba 1 point, and then Bradley kind of 1 point after he got hauled at half time. So like pretty poor across the back three there. But yeah, in midfield is looking yeah decent really. So really because of just Gordon, right? So Gordon got a goal and 2 assists, and I believe he got 3 bonus. So yeah, I think
he did. Pretty sure he did. Is that 2?
Yeah, so yeah, Gordon's always a threat, right? A kind of home, and like I think we were saying that like a couple of weeks ago, before Isak was back, it was quite dire straits just because there was no one else. But like Isak is a great player that stretches to the fences. Newcastle have consistently this year looked good going forward, right? It's their defense that's been a problem, like in that period. Yeah, Gordon's like form at home has been like outstanding, and like he's on track to get like 30 attacking returns over the season. So like he's done great, and yeah, it's nice when you get one of these. It's probably like the first haul I've hit, and especially being a differential, that's kind of really, really nice. But I don't think I was particularly lucky. I was like looking at his stats, and his expected goal involvement was like 1.8, right? So obviously, yeah, a bit fortunate with the amount of the volume of returns he's got. But like, yeah, he was kind of like really, really good that match. Yeah, Salah and Saka didn't do anything, but their ownership is so high, it don't really matter. I think Salah, like just as a Liverpool fan, he kind of does. He does go missing in some big games. There's some big games where he's been like outstanding. I remember obviously that goal he scored against City a few years ago. But like in title races, yeah, like some players step up. Like Mane stepped up, but I don't know, for such a great player, nothing goes missing.
I'm trying to think. Well, he scored against United. Who did he score against? I'm trying to think of his like the big teams he scored against this season. But yeah, the last couple of weeks he's been pretty much missing. Although he scored against United next last week, it was a penalty. Other than that, he's
quite.
I think it's the problem with most of the Liverpool attack, to be honest, their expected goal data is probably not too bad, but their finishing over the last couple of weeks has been poor.
And then yeah, up front.
Were you close to making him captain? Out of interest,
no. Haaland was like for me quite clear this week. So, yeah, that wasn't really a debate for me, to be honest, mate. But yeah, the forward line for me was good. Like obviously everyone scored. Haaland obviously got a penalty. It was a bit fortunate, but like you got the assist from the own goal as well. Watkins, Solanke, 1 goal each and 1 bonus each. So yeah, quite happy with that. And I think in Watkins' case, it could have kind of easily been a bigger haul. I mean, something that I've not been great at this season is actually playing, within my squad, the guys that get the points. I've like consistently benched points throughout this year. Like I think in all my other seasons, maybe it's because of like budget was tighter, so I had a worse bench. But I can't remember having as many returns just sitting on my bench, right? Which is kind of like frustrating. I was never really going to play Eze versus any of those other guys that were starting, and it's kind of nice that he's already in my squad because I think he's an excellent player for the double game week. But yeah, he was great against Liverpool as well. I think he could have got 2 attacking returns easy. I know he got the goal, but he was kind of really, really good, which is pretty reassuring. So yeah, kind of like what that means for me is like I'm on the heady heights of sub 250k, which is kind of not great, but like 100k green arrow at the moment. I'll probably end up about 260, 270. So yeah, green arrow, I'll take that. But importantly, like I'm kind of not too far behind from you actually, considering I've got the wild card in hand. So like it could get a little bit tighter, which is interesting. I've always got Palmer playing. I think there's a lot of people with bench will have people coming off their bench as well. So inevitably there's going to be some people who get some jam off the bench as well. So yeah, maybe I'll
Brantwaite.
Yeah, I'll be a little bit lower to be honest. But yeah, maybe 280 is where I end up the game week. So like kind of like nice. Yeah, obviously the Gordon return is what kind of made it. So yeah, obviously delighted with that. What about your sorry story? Wow.
Well, three players still to go. You never know. It's not been great. 35 points. Transfer I didn't do one because I wanted to carry it, so the team was never going to change from this. Nori not starting means I've got Brantwaite coming on 8 minutes into the game. He's on for a clean sheet, so counting those points already, baby.
Nice.
82 minutes to go, and a double clean sheet because I've got Gusto playing as well. So I've got 3 to play, which I'm not expecting loads from it. Let's be honest, but I think I've got more players to play than most, so maybe my overall rank will come down slightly. Still expecting a red, but to be honest with you, mate, like my safety was 45, so I was 10 points off it. I've only dropped 11k. I thought it was going to be more, so I feel like I'm getting away with it a little bit. But rest of the team, same as you, double Arsenal defense. Obviously, they conceded twice, so they got 1 point between them. Son came off before the 60th minute, which was a bit of a surprise. He's generally been there for the full 90, but came off early. So he ended up on 1. I was on Salah captain. I then got the leak that Haaland was going to start, so I changed it. I was worried about Haaland's minutes with the Madrid game coming up. But yeah, got the leak. Haaland starting. Same time the leak came, that Foden was going to start, and he was benched. But Haaland leak was correct. So I moved it across. I thought I'd home to Luton. The way Liverpool are playing, I think last season with Palace, it was 1-1. They can cause us. They're just one of those teams that frustrate us. So I thought, well, I'll play safe on Haaland, and thankfully I did because that's an 8-point swing. And then Solanke got a goal as well. So not great, but 3 to go. Palmer's effective ownership's 102%. So anything he does is actually a negative for me, slightly. So I'm really hoping for a 0-0. A 0-0 Chelsea Everton would be beautiful. And then that'll get me 12 points plus potential bonus. But not great, but as I say, that drop of 11k is not horrendous. And I don't expect it to go down much more because, as I say, I've got 3 of the players, whereas most people have maybe Palmer and another. So yeah, could have been worse is my answer to that question. Gordon, by the way, I might have said this already. If I have, I'm sorry to repeat myself. At home, has returned in every single game bar 1 this season at St James's Park. That is mental.
Yeah,
absolutely unbelievable.
And like I think everyone's going to be aiming to have him in 35 because he's got Sheffield United at home and then has a double game week fixture in 37, right? So great price point as well. Like, and he plays 90 every single game. So yeah,
we'll come on to that because I've got queries around my team. Having 2 transfers isn't all it's cracked up to be for me. But we'll move on. So we thought it was 1-0 Chelsea. So that's Brantwaite's clean sheet gone. Guess who scored it?
Palmer, is it?
Of course it is. Of course it was Palmer. Of course. Who else was it going to be? It's a one-man team. But yeah,
do you remember people were debating, he's only good because he got penalties?
Yeah.
Come on,
yeah, absolutely. He's running riot. I'm hoping it's a Gusto assist. I'll see in a minute. But I thought this week, because it's double game week, it's probably the biggest double game week so far of this season. A lot of people are going to be wildcarding in 35, much like you are. There'll be a lot of free hits that are getting played this game week. I thought, let's just focus on one game week, right? We'll just look at game week 34, go through the fixtures. You can see who's got the big doubles, and then we'll break it down. So the teams that I'm probably going to concentrate on: Arsenal, Liverpool, Palace, Everton, Wolves. And then I've got a slide for Bournemouth and Sheffield United. Don't want any Bournemouth and Sheffield United fans feeling left out. So we will touch on them, but it's rarely only Solanke that you're going to consider. But just to go through them, see who you would pick if, in effect, you're playing a free hit idea. But obviously, you've got some of those players yourselves. But the fixtures are up. Sheffield United are top of the fixture ticker for this game week. How are you going to triple up on them?
I consider Diaz if I was on a free hit.
Yeah.
It's
Diaz from Sheffield United.
Yeah, what's his name? Like Brendan Diaz or something. Brenton.
Yeah, he got a goal and 2 goals and an assist not that long ago in a game week, didn't he?
Now consider him like out of position. Like he's mid and he's playing as a striker, so like I'd consider him. So that's about it.
Yeah, it was a Nicholas Jackson assist for anybody that needs to know. Nice. But unfortunately,
good for
and he nutmegged. He also nutmegged Branthwaite on the way to goal, so that's that should be minus points for Branthwaite if anything. Then so in reality, Sheffield United maybe, but then Liverpool, Everton, Wolves, Arsenal, Palace.
Yeah, Bournemouth. I mean, really looking at those, we're talking about free hit. If you're on a free hit, yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, structurally, you want to look to get 3 Liverpool and 3 Arsenal, right? Just because they both have good fixtures and they're just the best teams, right? So if you're looking at kind of weighting like strength of team versus strength of fixtures, those two teams like stand out. So yeah, Liverpool, I guess it's Salah plus 2 others, and I think probably the 2 others are 1 keeper or defender, which would obviously be Alisson and Van Dijk, because of minute certainty. And then, Van Dijk does love to get like a header in a double game, but he does seem to have like really like he does seem to get his returns in double game weeks, right? So yeah, Van Dijk and or Alisson. And then in terms of attackers, I think this is a good dilemma for my own team. It's kind of really tough with the minutes piece, right? Because you don't want to get it wrong, right? So if you're going to split it down the middle and say Jota, Nunes, and Diaz will get 60 minutes per game, you'd be like, okay, I might run with that. But like someone's going to be unlucky, right? And kind of like not get the minutes really. So I think it's tough. But if push comes to shove, I'd say Diaz would be the favoured attacker there.
Well, we'll come on to it. I've got some stats to back you up.
Yeah.
We'll come on to Diaz.
I think just generally looking at recency bias, but like Liverpool being looking good from an expected stats the last couple of games. I think they were unlucky until not so recently, but they've been unlucky the last couple of games. But a lot of that's caused by Nunes, right? So like it's quite an easy switch if you want to kind of solve that problem, right? So I think he's been poor actually the last couple of games. So out of the 2, I could see Jota coming in for or even Gakpo for kind of Nunes rather than like Diaz. So I favour Diaz really. And then with Arsenal, I think it's depending on the widest team structure, right? Do you go double defence? Saka is a shoe-in, right? And then is it double defence with Gabriel and Saliba, or is it 1 defender, 1 attacker? I think if I was on free hit, I'd probably be bold and go for an attacker. I'd probably go for Havertz with Saka and then have Gabriel.
It's stats for that as well. You're pre-reading. But yeah, Havertz looks on. And it was interesting. Obviously, they dropped him to midfield against Villa, and then they lost 2-0. Yeah, when he was starting as the striker and Jorginho was on, they were winning games comfortably. So you've got to think Arteta's going to swap back, right?
No, I think so. You're running a bit of a minutes risk there, so it depends on your like propensity for risk and whatnot. But I think he's an appealing option. I guess looking at the other teams like Palace, I think are really, really good from an attacking point of view.
Yeah.
Mateta, Elise, and Eze. I think Eze should be a shoe-in people's like free hit teams. From Bournemouth, will assume like Solanke's a shoe-in and pretty much a no-brainer. And then I guess it's a smattering of the other players, right, to kind of fill in the squads, right? So, yeah, there's appealing keepers from a few teams: Allison, Pickford, the Palace keeper, whose name just escapes me. That's what I'm saying. The Palace keeper, Henderson. It's Henderson. Yeah, Henderson. Wolves have got some interesting attackers, right? So Cunha, Sarabia, Juan. So in that the kind of like free hitting squad. Generally, the structure and the teams you're targeting picks itself really.
Yeah. Now,
I think when people free hitting though. Sorry, mate, for jumping in there, but I think people free hitting is people who haven't free hitted. They're going to have very similar squads. Just playing around the edges, right? So,
I agree.
Do
you think it's dangerous to overlook single game week? So, right, for example, the defense. Ignore the defense one. Look into the attack, right? United, Sheffield United at home. Villa, Bournemouth at home, right? Do you think it's dangerous to overlook on Ollie Watkins? Bruno Fernandes seems to be back on form. He seems to be scoring or assisting pretty much every game week, and they are right fixtures. Now they've only got single games, but do you think it's dangerous to overlook them?
I think I agree with this. Palace have jumped from like near the bottom of the table right to the top. So I agree that those fixtures they've got are kind of really, really ripe from a attacking point of view. Can you skip back actually? I'm thinking selfishly for my own team. What's the defense? Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, Pickford for Everton better than Henderson for Palace from a strength of fixture. Although I think Palace are a better defence than Everton. Interesting. But
it's 2-0 Everton. Sorry, it's 2-0 Chelsea within 20 minutes against Everton. Just to reconfirm, and it was Palmer again. Just so you know.
That guy, I don't know why. Yeah, he should be more of a captaincy option every single week, really, shouldn't he? Actually, the price point, you said it before, that price point is a bit misleading. Well, very misleading. But yeah, kind of attacking point of view, I think Palace are kind of like the kind of bargain team there. Interesting Liverpool from an attacking point of view, kind of a lot lower down actually. So hey, maybe it suggests Alisson and Van Dijk, and then kind of just Salah in attack, and then switching the attack with Arsenal maybe. But yeah, for free hitters, the point you made there was a good one. Like they got a judgment call to make. Do they want Haaland, for example, who I believe is playing Brighton? Yeah,
correct.
I mean, Brighton's defense being bad is a bit of a trap actually, because their defense statistically has been quite good actually. So like you can't view them as a terrible attack like they were defense that they were at the beginning of the season. But yeah, I think that'd be a risky game. But if I was free hitting, I'd go full 11 of double game because there's enough good fixtures and good teams there. Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm with you. Well, we'll go through the big teams again, just a couple of minutes on each. So Arsenal, top of the list, second in the table. And then just for those that aren't free hitting, I've put at the top what their next lot of fixtures are. So again, like even in 36 and 38, they've got two nice home games if they're still going for the league title. But to back up what you said before about gambling on Havertz, he's technically been Arsenal's, from an FPL points point of view, over the last 6 game weeks, Arsenal's best asset.
Yeah, it's really surprising to see Saka so low down. Obviously, he's got one game left compared to everyone else. So let's assume, what's his average? 5. He's averaging about 5 expected points. He'd be up. So he'd be just behind Ødegaard if like he had played the 6 games based on his average. But yeah, it's surprising not to see him running away with it. But like, Havertz has been excellent. So if I was free hitting, I'd be probably targeting. I'd be very tempted to go Havertz, Saka, and then one of White or Gabriel.
Yeah. Now, interestingly, White got a clean sheet at the weekend because he seems to go off in about the 65th minute every week. So he got his clean sheet and then they conceded twice. So would you prefer that? Would you prefer to have a player like White who's going to probably get subbed off, or somebody like Gabriel who's going to play the 90 because
from a minute's point,
he's not bad from a corner.
Yeah, I think from a minute's point of view, you'd probably still want Gabriel, right? Just like you don't want it to be the flip side, that the risky game where White comes off at 58 minutes. Like you don't want
to. Yeah. Well,
to.
is it something for you as well, right? So I think we had this discussion. Gabriel versus Saliba.
Mm-hmm.
Gabriel's $500,000 cheaper. As you can see from the stats, he's got more goal threat. Yet weirdly, Saliba's owned by 40% of the game. Gabriel's only 28% of the game, despite the fact he's cheaper and he's more attacking.
It's just dead teams, isn't it? It's just dead teams, isn't it? Like obviously,
you think?
Well, yeah, it's kind of like Saliba was the hit. Like first game week, obviously. Like I think you were on the bad side as well. You started with Gabriel, didn't you? Yeah, I started with Gabriel. Saliba obviously started, so loads of people switched to Saliba like last minute, and then he got like a jammy assist either the first match or the second match as well. So he was like the top scoring defender. So I think that his ownership is just a reflection of just when the game is a bit more like engaged in terms of number of players. I think his effective ownership amongst active players will still be very high, but Gabriel's will be higher.
Yeah, I'm with you. So you're very much on the gamble. Go for the attack. Saka, Havertz, and a defender.
I think so. Just looking at the fixture, yeah.
And which defender? You might have said sorry.
Gabriel, probably. Gabriel.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Same dealio. Liverpool. Diaz, you mentioned. Diaz, again, technically, over the last 6 game weeks, Liverpool's best FPL asset with regards to points. And it's, again, Salah's only played 5 games. So if you take it on his average, he's pretty much level with Diaz. But again, you'd expect Salah to be running away with it, but he isn't. Diaz is there with him. I mean, Salah, unfortunately for the owners, is massively underperformed.
But I was going to say that's the point here. Other than McAllister, everyone's massively underperformed, really.
Yeah.
Nunes hasn't, which is surprising, but like Diaz has 40 expected points over the last 6 games, 30 points. Salah, 35 expected points. He's actually got 19. Bradley, so I can relate to this because I've had him. 16 points, great. 29 expected points. So and it's the same with Van Dijk. Kelleher, there's a lot of
interestingly, not Darwin.
Yeah, that's kind of like surprising, but he's had a few returns, I guess, so it kind of evens itself out. But, if I was picking Liverpool players, I think it would be again structurally. Do I want to go double attack or double defense? But Salah will be a shoe in just because of penalties, assured minutes, and just being the best FPL asset ever. And then it's like probably toss up between. I think I'll go Diaz, like rather than Darwin. I think I'm not confident enough on his minutes with Jota returning and Gakpo being there. And I think Diaz has been better than him. I think, frankly, and like the chaos and creating chances for other people that hasn't been there in recent games. I don't think so. I think he's probably ripe for being dropped to Jota, if I'm being honest. Diaz, I think still a bit of a rotation risk, but I think I would be surprised if he starts both. So Salah, Diaz, and then I'd say Van Dijk because of goal threat and just like nailedness. But you could quite easily go Salah, Van Dijk, and Alisson.
Yeah.
And like obviously what's good about Alisson is that we know the fixtures for Liverpool are like quite good from a defensive point of view. Fulham and Everton aren't great attacks, right? And also Alisson historically just like ranks up rare for a premium keeper, but he kind of like racks up save points just because he's so good as a keeper. So I think it's kind of that group of like 4 players is who I'd be considering. Interesting, Nunes. I'm not really considering him.
Would you? So 2 questions then. So Nunes, start with Nunes. If you own Nunes, would you sell him ahead of the double, or would you just keep him?
Of course not. Of course you wouldn't. No, of course not. We're talking about as in a theoretical free hit, so it's like of course like
And then would you consider either of Trent or Jota?
Probably not. I think there's better options.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm considering Jota. Just going to put it out there. I feel like he is the He's the man to.
Why wouldn't you consider Diaz?
I would consider Diaz, but it's just Jota seems. This is where I do my that random time every season where I do my randomness. I feel like
Jota's got a weird reputation this season for being this world-class finisher, just because like he was injured and then came back and then like really outperformed his stats. He's not done that historically. He's not a world-class finisher. He's not Son.
What are you talking about? The guys. I think I looked at the expected goal involvement per 90, and Diaz is ahead of him. Diaz is 0.6 and Jota's like 0.52.
Yeah,
so he is ahead of him.
Like, in your team, Diaz makes a lot of sense. If you went Jota, you've been just done. Like,
I haven't got either of them, by the way. But moving on to Palace, and just as I move on to Palace, it is 3-0 to Chelsea, and it's a Palmer hat-trick. So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure everybody has them. So it's a...
He must be pretty close to being the top scoring player in the game, and he missed, like, he didn't start. Yeah, he's like 5th now, but like right behind Salah and Son. Like, did he not even start until like game week 10? Yeah, his first start was in like game week 7.
Mental. But yeah, 3 hat trick. Is that the same? He's got a hat trick not that long ago, didn't he? Is that his second hat trick in about 4 weeks?
Attacking returns. That's mad. Wow.
And he's 5.9 million or something. I'm pretty sure everybody in the game owns him, or every active team I certainly own.
Wow.
Well, Palace. Yeah, I appreciate you're a big Palace fan this week. Both the home games, West Ham and Newcastle. Neither the West Ham or Newcastle defence have been great. Newcastle seems to have shored it up a little bit in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I'm a bit twitchy about Newcastle looking a bit better. I don't know whether that's just because like Isak is back and Isak and Gordon are just like playing well. It just gives the other teams more to think about. But yeah, a bit twitchy to think whether they're actually improving now. But West Ham have consistently been a bad defence, and like Newcastle, let's hope they haven't changed like radically short term. Yeah, I think at Palace, I like these 2 fixtures, 2 home fixtures. I know cliche, but I think Palace are good at home. I think I could see them getting results in both of them. I like them a lot from an attacking point of view. I think they've got the best 2 fixtures, other than West Ham from an attacking point of view. And I think there's some nice defender options as well. So, like in no particular order, I would be looking at Eze as a no-brainer, just because he's their best player, and I think is on penalties, right? So I'd look at Eze, and then from an attacking point of view, it's a toss-up then between Mateta and Elise. And like Elise is not on here because he's returned from injury, right? But he's come on as a sub. He's played 60 minutes, I think, or 68 minutes, something like that, on the weekend. Again, him and Eze are the best 2 players and like transform that team when they're both playing, as Liverpool experienced, right? So I think but they were fluid, like going forward, like they're both really good players, right, for Palace. So Elise is going to be playing if he's fit, right? So I'd be tempted to swing to Elise. I think there's other striker options that are better than Mateta for this week. But yeah, Mateta, Elise, Eze. Now, from a defensive point of view, Munoz, I kind of like him as a nailed defender with, I think, sometimes some attacking threat. And then, Henderson is an option as a keeper. And I think against West Ham and Newcastle, I think there's a chance for a clean sheet. And, I expect save points as well. So,
I was going to ask you about Elise not being on the list, but interestingly, only out of the starters over the last 6 game weeks for Palace, only Mateta and Eze have actually scored. Nobody else. Edouard, I'm fair to say, just in case Edouard's listening, Edouard has a goal, but he's played 48 minutes in the 6 game weeks. So I wouldn't be backing him in my team. But only 2 goal scorers, Mateta and Eze, which is interesting.
That's good.
Yeah, you're right.
That's what you want, like from a fantasy asset. You want like quite predictable in the team who's going to get the returns, right? That's why Palmer's so nice. Every time Chelsea do anything, he's involved.
Yeah, especially at home. It's not 4-0, but it's still 3-0. But yeah, he's 2 Jackson assists Just in case anybody's
he's starting to cook, he's starting to cook ahead of coming in on the wild card. Nice.
2 assists. I think you're getting Jackson on the wild card.
Yeah, I was saying that. Well, yeah, I think he's pretty obvious with like the volume of fixtures, right?
Yeah,
I think Chelsea have a nice double in 35, a nice game in 36, I believe. So like, yeah, I think Jackson and Palmer is quite appealing to go alongside Isak, of course, and then it's like who else?
Yeah, it's Darwin Núñez. Moving on to Everton options. It's going to be Haaland, right? Because they'll have a double. But moving on to Everton. Again, Everton are an interesting one. Obviously, they're getting absolutely battered 3-0 by Chelsea, but Chelsea are a bad side at home. Where you mentioned Pickford before. Is your concentration with Everton mainly on their defence?
I think so. Just a lack of options going forward, right? I think Calvert-Lewin would be nice if he was just like, if you could trust him.
Yeah. He's injured again. He's out for 3 weeks, I want to say. I might be wrong with that. Don't take that as a quote.
Exactly. Like, I'm not going for like Decore's gone quiet. Early in the season, I would have liked him, but like he's gone very, very quiet in terms of like attacking to Beto and McNeil now. So I think it's like Pickford is the standout because of his ability to save shots, essentially, right? And I think Forest and Liverpool both at home. I think that cries out he's going to be saving shots. I mean, like a double up in the fence isn't out of the question, right? So I think Michaelenko is a guy I'd probably go for. I know Tarkowski's here with like higher expected points, but Michaelenko just like I think maybe more routes to a goal, right? So I think yeah. But yeah, attack kind of with Calvert-Lewin being out, I think I'd be Pickford is the best option from an Everton point of view by some stretch, and then there's a gap, and then it's like the defenders like Tarkowski, Michaelenko, and Branthwaite. So yeah, I think it'd be cool having Branthwaite for next week.
Yeah, he'll sit in my team. He's it's surprising, isn't it? Like with Dyche as manager, you'd expect maybe Tarkowski to be scoring more than because he went through a period with Burnley where he'd probably get 3, 4, 5 goals a season. Just doesn't seem to be doing it for Everton for some reason. But then his expected goals over the last 5 games he's played is 0.5, which is way ahead of any of the other defenders.
Yeah, maybe he's the pick. Actually, to be fair, that's pretty attacking. Yeah,
Not putting it in. It's a bit like the Liverpool strikers. Now, Wolves options. Now, these interest me, the Wolves options. So, Sarabia is somebody that I have in my team. Obviously, I'm not on a free hit. Everton scored, but it's offside. I'm not on the free hit. So, I'm going to go in with Sarabia. But obviously, you've now got Cunha back, who's just got 2 goals. Hwang was on the bench, so he's going to come back into play. Neto's still out. But interestingly, Sarabia is top of the list in terms of expected FPL points over the last 6 game weeks. So he's probably been their better attacking player. But now their main 2 attacking players in Hwang and Cunha are back. So it's if you run a free hit, I'm assuming you're staying away from Sarabia. You're bringing in the other 2.
I think Hwang is a bit too early, right? Yeah. Did he even get minutes on the weekend?
He might not have done. I'll double check for you.
Yeah, I'd say Cunha and Sarabia, I think, are the options that stand out from an attack, and then I'd Nori from a defensive point of view.
Because he looks like he's going to be back. The quote from Gary, who's their manager? I was going to say O'Neill. Is that right?
Yeah.
Go with O'Neill. Is that right?
Yeah.
We'll say it is. So he basically said he probably thought he was back for the Forest game. So I'm assuming he's therefore going to be back for this one. Hwang came on for 31 minutes he got. So back in.
Yeah, I wouldn't go Hwang just because of like you kind of want to see a little bit more minutes, right? How many times have we seen someone come back and then get a reoccurrence, right? So yeah, I'd go Cunha and Sarabia as kind of standouts from an attacking point of view, and then obviously bear in mind they're playing Arsenal as one of their games.
Yeah.
So don't expect much there. But Bournemouth at home is not a bad fixture at all. I think there's options for Wolves players really. So I think those are the three standouts. So no surprise. No surprise there.
Sarabia, Nori. I've got two of them. Quite happy about that. And then
he's the one that got away. I should have got him in. Well, I didn't miss that deadline, but don't think I would have got him. Just like hand on heart.
Hopefully he delivers. He's going to be on my pitch for the first. He's been benched ever since I bought him. But Bournemouth, Sheffield United, I've kind of amalgamated into two because, well, you can see Bournemouth absolutely dominate the picture. So apart from Diaz, who you did bring up, and McBurney's there, like Sheffield United, you just don't feel like somebody you're going to bring in right on a free hit, even though they've got a double. There's just better options. Bournemouth, not too bad of options. I'm trying to think who their fixtures are. Where are they? They are away at Villa and away at Wolves. Solanke is obviously not a bad pick, but not the best fixtures in the world. If you're on a free hit, you're bringing him in.
Really look at just Solanke. So like I've got the hangover from the double game week 28, where I've got Kirkes, who's right at the bottom here. I'm surprised he's got expected points of 24 of the last 6-7 games. I'm kind of surprised he's managed to kind of pull that up. But annoyingly, it looks like he's back in the starting position. But he's just going to be permanent bench by me. I've got Zabrani as well, so I've got double Bournemouth defence, unfortunately. So I think I'll end up playing one of them and benching one probably. I think really from these teams, it's kind of like Solanke. Other people there's other. If you got some Bournemouth players, which a lot of people do, then it's fine. Right? People have Neto as a keeper, fine. You could actually come out of a haul. Right? Actually, looking at those fixtures, you could get a clean sheet, like a random clean sheet.
Well, Wolves aren't ticking, or Villa aren't ticking, or penalty save. You see that sometimes in a double game week. Random keepers come out with a 15-pointer.
That sort of jam. That's what we need. That's what we need.
But
I think free hit is Solanke. That's it.
Solanke and nobody else. I think a lot of people will have Solanke already.
Of course.
So that works. That works nicely in their favour. And then captaincy option for game week 34. Now Saka is actually top ahead of Salah. I don't know whether that's, he's got a home game where Salah's away. So Salah's away at Fulham and away at Everton. Saka is away at Wolves and at home to Chelsea. So, fixtures are pretty much even. Fulham aren't bad at home, as they've proved this season. Everton, again, probably a better at home. Yeah, maybe it's that home game that's putting it in Saka's favour. But are they the only two options for you, or is there somebody else that you're thinking of?
No, just them two. I'm surprised at that, but I think, as you said, it's probably the home game that's swinging it. I'm on Salah for the time being, and I think I'll stay on that.
I'm on Salah at the minute. Expected points per away game for Salah, so he's playing both away. His expected points per away game this season 6.58. Saka, a poor expected per game overall because he's got one of each, 6.29. So Salah is just ahead of him by 0.3 points. So he seems a logical pick. And nobody else at all. I am my Maverick move if I bring Jota in. Your face says it all. Your face says it all, Matt. That's all I needed to see from you. The face said it all. Moving on to Matt versus Dave. Before we come on to our own teams, you get to pick first. But just to clarify what happened last week, I nicked it. He's got on mute and he's hit his camera because I've took the lead, and he doesn't want to face it. Havertz with 1 point, unfortunately for Arsenal, with a booking and conceded, so didn't keep the clean sheets. Gibbs White got you a goal, though, mate. Gibbs White got you a goal. I don't know whether you were hiding there because somebody came in the room or you were gutted I beat you. But Gibbs White got you a goal and a booking, so he got you to 7. Robinson did nothing for me as Liverpool lost 1-0. But Reguilon with a clean sheet and 2 bonus took me to 10. Which means I now go 13-12 into the lead. It is close.
Yeah.
You don't look happy.
I mean, the good thing is we're consistently getting returns now, right? I think we had a dry spell where, like, I think I beat you through like a clean sheet point for a midfielder, right? Or yellow cards for the defining kind of factor. So it's good that we're getting attacking returns, but that's hard to take to your Region kind of getting 8 points. Was it an attacking return or was it a clean sheet?
Clean sheet and 2 bonus. That's why I picked him. I picked him for the clean sheet, of course. It's the whole reason I got him in. But you do get to pick first, which is good news. Now the downside is you can't pick Eze because he's in your team.
Who is probably he's probably the best option by quite some margin.
He's probably going to be my second pick because there's no point in me rushing to him. I'll pick him second.
I'm going to text you earlier. I'm going to just remind myself what I text you. What did I say?
There's a couple. Honestly, so Havertz is out. Havertz is now over 5%. So despite the Arsenal double, he's gone. I think the only real picks you can get are Arsenal are Jesus and Martinelli.
Yeah. I'm going to go for Elise, I think.
Elise.
Yeah.
Elise. It's not. I've been backing my Liverpool players and I'm winning. Although Robertson didn't do anything. McAllister did it for me the week before. It's 4-0 Chelsea.
So Palmer.
Jackson Hall. Jackson.
He's getting he's paying back those expected goals like from early in the season. He's
picking them up. Right. I'm between two, and I'm gonna back my man. I'm going Diogo Jota.
Okay.
Diogo Jota, 2.2% owned. Played 24 minutes in the league. Got 0.5 expected goal involvements. Away at Everton, away at Fulham. Double game week. I'm gonna go for Jota. I'll tell you who my other one was if you don't pick him.
Martinelli is still a too much of a minute's risk, isn't he? Really. I'm gonna go Cunha. I could go Mateta, but I'll go Cunha just as spread it out a little bit.
It was Jota or Cunha, but he's back from injury with a brace. Again, 2 home games for him. 3.8% owned.
I think it might be on pens as well. We'll see. It seems like anyone in that Wolves attack takes a penalty, right? Sarabia took a pen, but Banga's taking pens. I think Cunha has as well, so I live in hope.
It'd be interesting to see. I'm hoping as Cunha scored his pen, he's going to stick on them. I will unsurprisingly go Eze for my second one. Unsurprisingly, 3 returns in his last 6 game weeks, 2 home games, and hopefully he's on the pens.
Yeah, so, I think it feels like Havertz and Eze just in our picks every single, and Gibbs White every single week, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, it was Jota, Cunha, and Eze. So you picked Cunha, so I'll have to move over to Eze. I shouldn't really be backing Jota, but I've got to back my. Well, I've got to back him. I've got to back my man. I might have him. We'll see. But it's Elise and Cunha against Eze and Jota. That feels better. Robertson and Reguilon.
Yeah, like it's diabolical. You won. It's diabolical. You won with those options.
Yeah, I'm there. And if it makes you feel better, Reguilon would have won it on his own. But
2 bonus.
Yeah. But I'll take Eze and Jota. Feels better against Elise and Cunha. But we'll see who wins next week. And then who is captaining a defender game week 1 of next season. Plans for 34. Won't take too long. I've got 9 double game week players. So just to run through people that might not be able to see. I've got double Arsenal defence who are doubling. Raya and Gabriel. I've then got Branthwaite, who's got 2 home games. Hopefully they don't concede 4 in both of them. Apart from the Liverpool one, I'm quite happy for them to concede 4 against Liverpool. And Ain't Nori also with 2 home games. So quite happy with the back line. Across the midfield, Salah, Saka, Sarabia, and Palmer. Palmer, the only one that's got a single game week, but the guy's put 3 in today, and just doesn't seem to miss. I know it's Arsenal away, but it's the awful benching him. But I might end up benching him. We'll come on to it. And then up top, Haaland away at Brighton again, another single game week, but followed with Solanke, who doubles, and Darwin Núñez, who doubles. So yeah, 9 double game week players plus Haaland and Palmer doesn't feel a bad place to be. Zero budget is hurting me because I can't. Ideally, I'd upgrade my Burnley defender to somebody, but I haven't got any money, so I can't. So it means taking out, if I do a transfer, Gusto, Son. I'm not going to take out Palmer, am I? So yeah, taking out Son and Gusto, who I really want for game week 35.
Yeah.
So, but I've got 2 free transfers. So if I don't do that, I'm just burning a transfer. But it just feels like Son to Jota, Son to Diaz could be a nice move for a game week. But then I'd have to sell Salah to get back to Son because I haven't got any money and I've got value in the guy. So again, it doesn't feel great.
I mean, surely won't you be doing Son to Diaz and then game week 35, Darwin to Isaac and then Son back in? Like
I can't. Won't have the money for it.
Isaac's more than Darwin, is he?
Isaac's like 0.3 more than Darwin, I want to say. 0.4 more than Darwin.
I can see the problem you backed just into.
Yeah. Having zero budget is an issue. So it's either just stick with, I'm gonna have to cash out of Salah in 35.
Yeah, well, Salah or Saka can jump out.
Yeah. Which if I want Son back, it'll have to be Salah. No other choice.
What else do you do?
Then it gives me.
If you keep it, what moves are you going to do in game week 35 if you're not downgrading Saka or Salah to someone? How are you going to move anyone else on?
Well, that's it. I can't. So I have to get the cash out of somebody.
One of those two has to go. So I think the Son point is maybe a bit redundant. You're going to be thinking, what's your transfer strategy moving forward? I think you want a Gordon, you want an Isaac, like you want another Chelsea player, but you got 3 Chelsea in you actually. You want maybe another Spurs player. So I think, you have to accept that you're going to move one of them because, like, obviously on your wild card, you've like stretched the budget so thinly that you've got a load of redundant players that you can't move on to anyone. I ignore you can't really move on your Branthwaite, Al-Dakhil, you can't Sarabia, you can't really move them to anyone. So you're going to have to free up cash from someone, and it's going to have to be Salah or Saka.
Yeah. And what I'd end up doing is Salah to Son. It then give me more than enough money to do Darwin to Isaac.
Really?
And then I could take a 4-point hit, and either, depending on what I fancy, what's his name from Burnley could go to an Udogie because he's got a double. He could, interestingly, go to a Trippier if he's back.
No, exactly.
Ahead of their double in 37.
I think you need to start planning for the kind of weeks ahead. But I think moving Son on to Diaz feels quite nice this game week.
Bench Palmer.
Yeah. He's playing. That's the ignore the Villa game. Like that's a bit of a one-off. Like Arsenal always the toughest fixture for an attacker, right? So, I mean, what do you say, fingering? Yeah, what's the predicted points of Palmer?
This is what I need to work out, right? Because you need whoever I bring in.
I'd say about 4.
Needs to beat him by 4.
And will Diaz beat them 4? It's going to be tight, to be honest. I think Diaz might be 8. Well, say on the slide before with the captaincy options, I'd say he's about 8.5, maybe off the top of my head.
8.3, good effort.
Yeah. But Palmer could well be 4.3, right? So that's Although you're not. It's a bit different when you're burning a transfer because you're not. It's a little bit different now. Yeah, I mean, looking at your team, I'd be considering that kind of roundabout move. But I think don't worry about the Salah Saka stuff because you're going to have to move one of them.
Yeah, eventually. And then I'm also considering the only thing it'd do is at the minute I'm going to get 9 double game week plays out for 37. If I move Son out to somebody without taking a hit, I'll only get to 8, which I'll probably take a 4-point hit at some point and be 9 anyway. But yeah, I'm not in a bad position.
The issue you got, mate, is like you got your bench boost still to play, and then you've got a Al Dakil who doesn't play, so you need to move him on.
No, he'd be going. He'd be going. And you know what? The thing that I don't mind, right?
Unless you free that.
No, but yeah, when a downgrade seller. The thing that I like about Game Week 37 is Brantwaite's are home to Sheffield United, and Wolves have got a nice game. So eight Nori and Sarabia. Again, it depends if I keep hold of them. I'll sell Darwin first. I'll probably sell Solanke first.
I reckon
they've got quite a nice fixture. You do what?
I reckon I might catch you up.
The home to Palace. That's who they're home to. We've just beat Liverpool at Anfield. So that's maybe not as easy a game as we think. But yeah, we'll see. But onto your team.
Yeah. So Aussie, loaded team there. I'm just showing off my good planning there. All those double game weekers. Christmas tree formation. Obviously the reality is my goalkeeper, Kelleher, he's not going to play. Bradley, he's not going to play. Kirkes could well not play. So yeah, when I start doing that, it looks a lot less good. So I got 2 free transfers because I obviously burned and missed the deadline last week. So I need a keeper, right? And keepers are great from a double game week point of view. So really, my shortlist is Pickford and Henderson. I think Pickford, Henderson, and Allison. I think are kind of the keepers that make sense on paper. I think those are the best 3 keepers this week. Watkins is a cash cow and kind of like an interesting option. However, I'd quite happily play Watkins, who's the top scorer in the whole game against Bournemouth at home. Like, so I think probably what I'm thinking now is not the thoughts I shared earlier. I'm probably thinking Gordon to Elise or Sarabia, and then Areola to insert keeper of choice, Pickford or Henderson. I don't think I could stretch to Allison, but yeah, Allison potentially. Difficulty I have there is like I don't have the optimal Liverpool lineup, but yeah, if we're kind of like weighing up, will the person that you're bringing in score 4 more points than the player you're getting rid of? If I'm getting rid of Watkins, do I really think Nunes is scoring 4 more? I think because of the minutes risk, it's going to be tough. I'd say Watkins' expected points are probably 5. I'd say that's good. Nunes is probably about 8, but like depending on minutes, it could be close to the 10, or it could be actually close to the 6. Like, do you know what I mean? So, I think I'm quite happy playing Watkins really. So like I'm toying with the -4. Do I want to bring in Diaz? I don't know. I think the minutes risks is making me a little bit nervous really. So I think I'll end up playing a squad with 9 double game weekers. I'll have Watkins and Haaland as single game weekers. I'll have Eze, Saka, Salah, and then Elise or Sarabia in midfield. And then the 3 defenders I'll start Saliba, Gabriel, and Zabrani. I'll bench Kirkes and Bradley, which is a bit of a shame, just like how fixtures landed and the players I had, whatever. And then I'll have Pickford, Henderson. I don't think I'll be able to stretch to Allison, but potentially Allison, I can stretch for him then. So yeah, I think those are the sort of combos I'm looking at. Which
makes sense, mate.
I can live with. Those two single game weekers I've got in Haaland and Watkins are super dangerous. So
yeah, makes sense. I think Bradley's injured, by the way. He didn't go off at half time for tactical reasons. He went off in the 48th minute, 3 minutes into the second half. He stretched his foot, and it might be ligament damage, basically. So I think he's probably seen his last game for Liverpool. So appreciate you'll be wiping him out in the wild card anyway. So he's not really an issue for you.
Yeah,
at least you're keeping him.
Yeah, well, if he's injured, it's less of an issue if he benching him, right? So
yeah, it seems unlikely he'll be playing. I mean, I suppose midweek on obviously Liverpool play Thursday, so that'll give you an insight. But yeah, I doubt he's seeing the pitch at all over the next couple of game weeks. So yeah, it makes sense. I'm with you. If I had Watkins on the team, looking at that fixture at home to Bournemouth, I'd feel ugly benching him. I'd rather play him over a Solanke, for example, or giving your team clearly Bradley with his injury. But there's loads of double game week players. You want Watkins on for that fixture ahead of. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
It's a shame, really. There's always a bit of uncertainty with Watkins just because of the lack of penalties, really. Obviously, with Diaz being on them, because it's just such a nice backup option. And that's why Douglas Luiz was a nightmare. I think he was a few people I think a few of the models said he would score well, like over the Christmas period. He scored incredibly well just because of like a run of random goals, but like a fair amount of penalties as well. Yeah. But yeah, Watkins is obviously he's the top scorer in the game for a reason, right? Even without the penalties. So I think I'm very comfortable playing him, I think. So I think I need a keeper. And I've got one for transfer. My defense is perfectly fine. Saliba, Gabriel, Zabrani, right? So it feels like I need to get a midfielder in for Gordon or Palmer, and like really at that price point, there's only one or two options that kind of are valid. They can't really stretch to a Diaz, right? So it's Elise or Sarabia, right? Really are the valid, or Huang are the valid options for me, which are all really good. So yeah, I'm quite happy doing that.
And then I take a wild card, Gordon straight back in, Isaac in, 3 Chelsea, 3 Tottenham.
So structurally, I'll have 3 Chelsea, 3 Spurs, of course, because of their imminent double. Palmer, Jackson, Son, of course. Maybe a Gusto, maybe a Madison. Maybe it would be nice if Richarlison was back, to be honest. Maybe a Udogi or Pedro Porro or Vicario. So yeah, kind of like spread across those teams. And I appreciate Spurs haven't got the best run, but like there are a thing called transfers that exist, right? So you can always move them out after the wild card, right? There's still plenty of games to kind of like shift them around a little bit. Isaac Gordon will be in my team for sure. Haaland will be in my team, of course, because obviously Man City have the double. Foden likely to be in the team. I think I'll go all in. I think like some people might have reservations in moving on some like very good players who have good single week fixtures. So Salah, Saka, but I think my team is just like a necessity, really.
So no Saka, no Salah.
Yeah, easy. Fernandez might be a stretch in terms of his price point, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Garnacho, unfortunately, looks like he's fell out of favour with Ten Hag, so that's a problem because he was one of the players that can really make that bench boost happen. So yeah, it'd be really intriguing to see what happens like the next just one game week now, and to kind of showball the wild card. But like it'd be great to see him just start and play the whole game because he's like such a great enabler at his price point. Could be talking about gross. But yeah, I'll be going without Arsenal players, without Liverpool players. Look at my team now, but certainly no Bournemouth players. So all change.
Complete change.
Yeah.
It's exciting times. I mean, you said about catching me up. I really should not be your motivation, Matt. You're former world number 1, mate. You should be aiming higher than me.
I think we really have to caveat. I know you do it for like clickbait reasons and whatnot, but like when I hear world number 1, I think they finished first in a season, or at least be first in like
that's luck. Like, that's luck when you finish first.
Number 1 is like a really geeky definition where it's like you were top of a Hall of Fame algorithm for a couple of weeks.
The facts of the matter, Matt. From a consistency point of view, you were the best player on the planet.
Not so much now, but
hey, look, FPL Focal. Most people will probably know has a video, an interview with the newest world #1, and the interview's with you. The facts are there, mate. The facts are there. Focal doesn't lie.
He'll be even better than you at like kind of clickbaity titles. So.
Focal doesn't lie. Just saying.
But
yeah, so double game week.
We can keep it up. We can keep it up.
Yeah, we'll keep it. We'll keep it. Yeah. We'll keep going. So this title is going to be along the lines of former world #1's targets for double game week 34. Just so you're aware, that's probably what the title is going to be. And the next week, former world #1's wildcard team. That's probably going to be this as you're hitting the button. So we'll see. We'll see what happens in the business end of the season. But
at least say like, and there's a bench boost now 37 as well. So like, yeah, it writes itself really, which is probably a good thing because I think it was really a struggle coming up with titles before. So
it was. It's worked out very nicely for me now. But yeah, only 5 game weeks left. 5 game weeks left. So what have we got? 35, 36, 37, 38, 4 to record for, and then maybe an end of season. So only maybe 5 episodes left after this until the summer break. Before anybody asks and anybody puts anything in the comments, Matt, we've already had this discussion offline. We're not going to be doing the Euros FPL.
No.
I don't know the international teams well enough beyond England, so that'd be terrible.
Of you. You don't know the teams in the Euros.
I know like France, but I'll know about 5 players. And I'm a typical. I just watch the English Premier League, and maybe when Liverpool are in Europe, and that is it.
What's the trademark?
Don't watch La Liga.
Greatest league in the world.
Greatest league in the world. Greatest league in the world. Why would I watch any
every like Serie A team just beats everyone?
Yeah, there is that. There is that problem. But yeah, I never watch any of the other leagues, so I'd be terrible at it. I don't know whether you usually do it.
No. Don't. It's kind of like it's just like I've done the World Cup once or twice, but it's like I'm probably the Euro as well. It's just like the format's quite intense because there's games every single day and like it's a bit full on. Like and if
you can change like your captain every day as well.
Bit too much. I mean, like I see the appeal though. It does enhance games, isn't it? If you're watching like a random game on a Wednesday afternoon and there's I don't know, let's make up a team. It's whatever, some relatively obscure game that doesn't matter to kind of you, and it makes it a little bit more interesting. But yeah, I won't be doing it. But when will England get knocked out then? When are they going to beat a tier 1 team?
It's coming home, mate. No, it's coming home. We will get beat as soon as we come up against any team in the top 5 in Europe. Then we'll get beat. Yeah. So we'll get out the group, and then as soon as we come up against
the second round, is there a second knockout this year, or is it straight to quarterfinals? The second knockout, isn't it? Like replicates the World Cup.
I think it's last 16. Yeah, last 16.
Yeah, last 16 will be good. I think quarterfinals will be the tough,
Max. I don't appreciate this isn't a Euros podcast, but we'll carry on as we're here. We got to the final last time, but it was a nice run. Denmark in the semis, Ukraine in the quarterfinals. It was a nice run, and I can't think was it Germany, but Germany were past it. Like they weren't.
No, I think
Germany that we know.
That was a big win because I think that was probably the first time since England won the World Cup that they've beaten like a top tier nation in a knockout game, really. So I think that was kind of like that was a big deal. But seems to always be a sticky point, doesn't it?
It does. Unfortunately, I think as soon as we come up against another Italy, Germany, France, Spain, Belgium, Holland, we'll probably
I was going to say not many teams are good at actually like listing a few of those teams there. Maybe not peak.
Maybe not Germany.
No, I mean it's not bad side. Obviously, I think probably France are probably up there with England with the best overall squad. But like Holland have got a good little team.
Yeah,
to be honest,
yeah, really decent, really decent. Yeah, I mean, their best two players are obviously Virgil van Dijk and Gakpo. Obviously, their best two, clearly. So it's good. It's good to have them. It's good to have them on the bench. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But either way, I'm not doing Euro. I'm not doing Euro fantasy football. So yeah, 5 episodes left. 5 episodes left, and that is season 1 in the bank. But we'll
good riddance.
Outside chance of a top 10k finish.
Good riddance to it.
Good riddance to it until next season, and then we're back. And what somebody's going to, I mean, but there's an outside chance. Your wildcard could work out stupendously. I'm 70 odd K. I could have a ridiculous couple of weeks that work in my favour and end up dropping into the. I doubt it. Let's be honest.
I think when we do the reflections, like that would be an interesting one. We should probably definitely do that. Yeah. Do our like awards of like favourite players, worst players, stuff like that. But we should do like turning points and reflections, because I think you played pretty well, to be honest. I think the way that doubles landed for you now for the run hasn't been good because of you were kind of forced to wildcard just around your team structure. So that was unfortunate, and I think some people got lucky with a lot of the upsets in the FA Cup. So I think you played pretty well, but you've had 1 or 2 moments shooting yourself in the foot. I've had some big ones, but I don't have bad luck, but there's been a few like quite critical moments where I've lost 40 points really over a couple of weeks from like doing a stupid move that was unnecessary. I think I can think of about 3 or 4 of those, so like that'll be good. Just to reflect and feel.
We'll definitely do it.
Feel sorry.
End the season awards.
I know you're trying to be disciplined and keeping it under an hour, finishing at 9 p.m. and I'm waffling about Euros and reflections. So I'll shut up now.
No problem. That's no problem. I've enjoyed the chat. I just don't want to look at my phone and see Palmer's got another goal. So keep the chat. But I appreciate you joining us. I think obviously we'll catch up next week when you'll be on your wild card. So it'll be quite interesting to see your team. Out of interest, are you the sort of person that you're playing the wild card? Are you going to play it Saturday and set a team, or are you going to wait until the end of the week and play it?
I think I'll do it because I think the issue that you have running it super early is like, some random thing happens, but whatever. Like the season doesn't matter that much for me, so I'll probably click it so I can just like
play around,
do something. And also, do you know, if you lose, get rid of players that you lose value in that you then want back, that's when it can get a problem. But I know my team is going to be a wholesale transformation. I don't think I'm keeping anyone really, bar whoever I leave out of Palmer and Gordon. So I'll probably kind of activate it as soon as possible and have a little dabble. I made a mistake earlier in the season where I was having a dabble and I got rid of Mbeumo. I lost value on him and then couldn't get him back when I wanted him. So, but yeah, it's kind of quite
a mistake again.
I'm losing the team, so I'll be activating that pretty early. So yeah, we can have by the time we next chat, we can probably share a few drafts and a few options.
Yeah, good to see you. Good to see where you're at. And we'll catch you then. We'll catch you then, Matt. Appreciate you joining us as always, my friend.
Thank you. Good to join you.
And thank you for watching. If you haven't yet subscribed, please do. If you haven't given us a like, please do that as well. Comments, do all of those good things that really help us out. It does mean that other people can find us too. So if we've helped you, we can help those as well. But otherwise, we will hopefully catch up with you too next week. All the best until then. May your arrows be green and speak to you soon.